This is not the Navy that I joined. That is a common lament among old salts, probably since the days of sail. While there are many times that I have felt the same, the truth is the Navy is and has been a perpetually evolving organization. We all joined a changing Navy. In 1993, AT, AQ, and AX were all collapsing into the AT rating. There was talk of AE also merging. I just missed being an AQ, or an aviation fire control technician. There were still some AQ rating badges stubbornly clinging to peacoats and working jackets when I reported to SEOP Det NAS Miramar. I was a bit dejected then to be deprived of being unique. Lining the P-ways of AIMD were not so old command photos of sailors sporting beards. Women were being integrated into reluctant ship's crews. The Navy was still reeling from the tailhook scandal. Sexual assault training was frequent, and hazing training wasn't taken too seriously. Tacking on crows was still the norm. I hated the wash and fade prison uniform dungarees with their 4 back pockets and iron-on crows. Rit Dye was a 1990s sailor staple ditty bag item. And back to the iron-on crows because I skipped a line earlier. Especially the crushed velvet version was the sign of an outstanding sailor. The 4.0 eval rating scale, pink PRT folders, which I may have showed you a copy of one of those, wanted to bring it with me. Vids boards, remember those? Encodes to jump directly to the exact screen you needed on the Nalcomas dumb terminals. Second classes being able to cut and approve an assist math to the solder shop, and frequently do the work and sign off that same math. During my first tour, President Clinton was struggling to balance the budget with a government shutdown threatening to stop service members' pay. Galleys, remember those? E-clubs. 18 to 20 years old with a military ID could drink at the E-club in Miramar, and it was a very popular place. Unfortunately, so was Tijuana. So, Big Navy thought it best to lower the drinking age only on base and keep the youngins where they could be closely watched. It was a strategy that worked pretty well, but eventually Big Congress said no, 21 means 21. So everybody started volunteering for tours in Japan and Italy. By the time I separated in 1998, dungarees were giving way to utilities, upgrading our escaped prisoner image to that of a Jiffy Lube employee. And there was rumor of AEs merging with ATs. Fast forward through 5 years of civilian contract employment, help desk and desk side PC and network support, telling corporate executives to reboot or how to create a recurring task reminder in Outlook. There was the Y2K scare and the dot-com bust. Increasingly competitive job market, competing for a $7 an hour help desk job with young people with bachelor's degrees and no real experience. On the morning of September 11th, 2001, I was in my living room, leafing through the Help Wanted section and watching CNN. I then decided once and for all my chosen career. By 2002, things didn't seem too much different from what I had remembered leaving. We were still warring in the Middle East. Tomcats were still the baddest mofos in the sky. The Navy was ramping up the Master-at-Arms force from 1,750 to approximately 4,862 by fiscal year 4. Now recruiting direct accessions and rolling out an MA3 rating exam. Shipboard E4 sailors with over 4 years of service and no dependents were authorized to draw BAH and live out in town as long as the barracks was adequately occupied. High-year tenure for E4 and E6 was being reduced to 10 and 20 years respectively from a temporary increase in 2000 to compensate for decreased advancement opportunity during the previous several years' drawdown. Isn't history exciting? CPO indoctrination saw 2 new lessons introduced to the curriculum: sailor career management and manpower and personnel distribution. Folks subject to stop loss were relieved to hear that they were finally being released from active duty. Task Force Excel and its 5-vector model was revolutionizing the way the Navy trains. Rear Admiral J. Kevin Moran stated, "This may be the most significant cultural change the Navy has undertaken in the past 20-plus years. And although challenging and different from what we've done before, it will certainly enhance our continued excellence in the 21st century. You won't recognize the Navy when we're done with this process." In 2002, pewter collar and cap devices were being phased out and replaced by pretty anodized versions. The first Navy Jack, "Don't Tread on Me," formerly reserved only for the oldest ship in the fleet, was now to be flown on all U.S. Navy ships in lieu of the Union Jack. In order to retain the very best, the W5 rank was established, expecting approximately 84 new billets over the next 5 years. The term Commander-in-Chief was changed to just Commander for top echelon admirals because there can be only one. By the end of my first year back in the Navy, aviation storekeeper and storekeeper were merging. NAV Admin 180/01 gave significant increases to new enlistees' bonuses. Note 1 of that message stated, "The AE and the AT ratings will merge into a single rate AV." Fast forward another 15 years. Today, as I prepare to bid my ever-changing Navy a fond farewell, our uniforms are a little more aligned DoD-wide, while still managing to stay true to our unique heritage. Don't think for a minute that you'll be carrying the same sea bag 10 years from now, but I hope you will be still wearing your Cracker Jacks. President Trump is now struggling to balance the budget with a government shutdown threatening service members' pay. We have learned from our crew integration growing pains, from women on ships to the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and acceptance of GLBT sailors serving openly. We have learned to accept something which really always has been, but never acknowledged. We saw corporate business series like the 5-Vector model and formal mentorship program wither on the vine. The venerable Tomcat is long gone, making way for Raptors and Global Hawk. Cyber is a virtual theater, but a real threat, prompting the reestablishment of 10th Fleet as Navy Cyber Command, a whole fleet of virtual ships. Today, lasers fired from the decks of real ships blow missiles out of the sky. But with all its advances in technology, the failures and successes the Navy has experienced throughout its evolution from wooden ships and iron men to energy weapons and virtual warriors, the greatest change of all is the new life that each recruit, each midshipman, brings to the deck plates. It is to you that I leave a living, breathing Navy, steadfast and unwavering in its commitment to change the future. And to my AE shipmates, resistance is futile. You will eventually be assimilated. All right, so this leads me to the family and friends and all the thank yous. We'll start with Russ and Colleen. You've made my stay in this forsaken desert bearable. Thank you for helping me spend my money.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being fantastic neighbors, surrogate brother, and great friends. I wish I could take you both with me. Now I'll have to let Mom watch Max whenever I leave, and she's going to ruin it.
It's okay, it's still here.
Hopefully my future travels will bring me back this way from time to time. You know you'll always have be welcome to knock on my door with no warning, and hopefully I'll be home. Guy, thank you for living vicariously through me. I'm glad you found my naval career to be so much more exciting than it actually was. More so, thank you for being an inspiration and a role model. I know I didn't appreciate it at the time, but there comes a point when a man realizes that Dad may have actually been right. Your example and your advice have made a tremendous difference in my life. Guy Harold Hudson is a former shipmate that served during the Pacific era of World War II from March 1943 to January 1946. He grew up in a small town called Sockchoppy on the Gulf Coast of the Florida Panhandle. He enlisted just before turning 18 to serve his country and to see the world. He attended basic training in Orlando, Florida, A school in Pensacola, Florida, and was stationed at NAS Jacksonville, Florida, for the duration of his career. He separated as an aviation machinist mate second class in January 1946, having never left the great state of Florida, nor stepping foot aboard a Navy ship. He did finally get to see the world as a flight engineer with American Airlines, and took his first step aboard a Navy aircraft carrier in 1994 as my Tiger on USS Abraham Lincoln. In honor of his service, I would like to present him with the National Ensign flown over Naval Air Station Jacksonville, Florida on 8 May 2017. Aviation machinist mate, second class, Guy Harold Hudson, front and center. Mom, you are the hardest person to include in my little diatribe, because how does one put into words the gratitude and honor a mother deserves? First of all, thanks for hanging tough through my first 9 years, and to a slightly lesser degree, my second 9 years. But Mama, I'm coming home. But then I'm leaving again.
What?
But at least I'll be back a lot more often.
Oh.
David Paul, I'm sorry we didn't have a traditional father-son relationship. I'm not sorry for the man that you've become. Your mother and Mike have done a most admirable job. I will never be able to adequately express how proud of you that I am. Not only for being smart and awkward and weird, that's only to be expected, considering that you're the fruit of my loins. I'm proud of who you are. Thank you for thinking for yourself. Thank you for disagreeing with me at times. Thank you for questioning me and encouraging and disagreeing with me. Thank you and encouraging me to question myself. Honest and open discourse is critical to understanding. Even though we may never come to an agreement on some things, it has been great practice in listening to opposing views and attempting to see things from a different perspective. And you are just hard-headed enough to force me to refine and polish an argument. You make me dig deep to justify my position. Some people might disagree, but I think we need more people in the world like you and me. I love your heart, and I love you. I will always be proud to be your Uncle Dad. So my final thoughts. Don't settle for doing the easy things. Do the right thing even when it's difficult. Violence is easy. Anger is easy. Passing judgment is easy. Peace is difficult. Understanding is difficult. Serenity is difficult. There is little joy in doing the easy thing. The true sense of accomplishment is achieved only by completing the difficult thing. Therefore, strive for peace, strive for understanding, strive for serenity. Love your neighbor, and most importantly, love yourselves.